All right, Connor, welcome to No Code Talk. I'm so excited to have you here. How you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. Yeah, I'm excited too. We've been talking about it for a while, so exciting that the day's finally come.
Yeah, tell me about it. I feel like this is what, maybe a year in the making, or maybe even more in the making, because we met at No Code Conf about 2 years ago now, it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, so just for a little bit of context, yeah. So Aaron and I met at the No Code conference, which was very exciting because at the time I was living in New Zealand and I hadn't met that many people that were that interested in like Webflow, Airtable, Zapier, all that type of stuff. And we kind of caught up there. And ever since then, we've kind of been having chats about no code related things. I've pretty much copied all of Aaron's tutorials into my no code projects. And yeah, so I suppose this is just like another one of these chats, just with more people involved this time.
Yeah. So I think this is like a really good place to start about what is no code talk, and why we decided to have this kind of hopefully recurring stream. Is that, Connor moved to Canada, what, maybe 8 months ago, right in the middle of a pandemic. And ever since Connor moved, we had weekly chats where Connor would say, "Hey, can you help me with this workflow? Can you check out this tool? Where does that fit in your workflow?" And I think every Tuesday morning was one of the meetings I would look forward to every single week. And a month ago, I said, why don't we have these discussions in public? They're so valuable. I feel like other folks in the no code community could benefit from both hearing what we say, but also interacting, giving us projects that we can talk about, pitching us tools, right? So this is our first attempt at no code talk, where we're going to show off projects. We're going to talk about new tools. We're going to work through workflows and answer your questions. So our goal is really to maybe loftily have a mini no-code conference every month, right? No-code talk every first Wednesday of the month, where we just like bring the community together, answer some questions, review some tools, check out some workflows, really condense what's happened in the past month in no code, and hopefully make it enjoyable. So really excited. We've got a bunch of folks in the chat. Let us know if you're here. It means a lot that you're taking the time to join. I know, Connor, that we had some folks who are maybe more familiar with what you do, or maybe a little more familiar with what I do. So how about just a quick intro into yourself? Who is Connor? And then I'm going to do the same, and we're going to jump into today's agenda.
Okay, so yeah, my name's Connor. I run a freelancer marketplace in New Zealand called Unicorn Factory. So it's basically designed to make it easier for New Zealand businesses to find local freelancers. And I built the entire platform with no-code tools. So it all started off with Webflow. And then over time, as soon as you spend enough time in that space, you start to discover a whole bunch of other tools. So I started automating workflows with Zapier. I built my database in Airtable. And yeah, since then, I've been just like playing around with a whole bunch of different no-code tools. I started a little YouTube channel where I make tutorials explaining how to build different things. I've also worked on a whole bunch of other projects that I haven't really talked about that much, but really, yeah, I mean, what I mostly do is just do no code related things. And yeah, is that a good summary of what
Yeah,
I
I
do?
think that's good. We also learned that you have a squeaky chair. So everyone
Yes.
just please in the chat make fun of Connor. He's very self-conscious about his chair. That we're probably gonna chip in some money and get him a new chair.
I
Uh,
bought this chair on purpose. I was like, I'm going to find the squeakiest chair for this first thing so that we have that to talk about.
I appreciate it. We all really love the fact that you're adding some sound effects into the stream. Um,
Exactly.
so yeah, it's kind of weird to introduce myself on my own stream, but my name is Aron, but I started Automate All the Things, what feels like 5 years ago. And what started off as dinners where folks would come in and I'd show them how to automate their lives. Right, I'm not in a very tech environment here in Montreal. Turned into this YouTube channel. I'm on the education team at Airtable, and I stream every Wednesdays at 1 p.m. How to work smarter, not harder, using no-code tools. And yeah, this week we've got Connor. So I think that's pretty good for an introduction. So really, first Wednesday of the month, we're going to go through the agenda that you see on the screen. And, you know, this is open to change. So if you have any suggestions around things we should cover, you have a tool to pitch us, a question you want to ask, please tweet at Aron Core or at Finlayson Connor. And we're going to kind of integrate the agenda, make it yours. Really, you guys are kind of watching this, listening to this after the fact. We want to make this stream all yours. So pitch us. We're always open to adapt the agenda. Okay. So Connor, are we ready for the first question on No Code Talk?
Let's go.
All right, let's do it. So I'm going to go ahead. There we go. So Connor, everyone on the stream should now see my screen. Connor, you should see the same. There you go. Boom. Okay. So our first question comes from Anonymous. This person didn't want to reveal what they're working on, but wanted to ask us a question, which we're cool with that. We're cool with anonymous questions. People got billion-dollar startups they're building here. So, so this person is building a marketplace using MemberStack, Webflow, Zapier, and Airtable. Specifically, this is a job board, and they're wondering about how to integrate payment, right? So there's a few ways, you know, you can integrate payment. You can do it on a monthly subscription, right? So every month for posting a job, pay me $30 a month. Or you can have add-ons. You can say it's $30 a month plus 50 to be featured, or maybe to target a specific demographic like a tech job or a no-code job, whatever it is. And this person is wondering, how should they integrate payment? So should they use MemberStack on a monthly recurring, Stripe, Jotform, Typeform? So what is the best way to integrate payment into your no-code tool? I know, Connor, you have experience with this, so this is definitely going to be a question that you can answer. Tell us what your thoughts are.
Okay, so funnily enough, this question is kind of perfect to start off with because I was in that exact position probably 6 and a bit months ago. So on the Unicorn Factory, which is a freelancer marketplace, I also have a job board where clients can come and list their jobs, and then I basically put that onto a members only page, and then freelancers can request introductions to those clients. So when I started off with it, I built it in Webflow forms just because it was the quickest way to do it. Also, I played around a bit with Airtable forms, but I ended up sticking with Webflow forms because it allowed me to track kind of how far in the process people were getting when they were filling out the form. But one of the big challenges that I ran into over time was payments. And so the problem with payments is that there is currently no good native solution inside of Webflow that allows you to take payments. So I did have a brief little look into Webflow e-commerce, but I feel like for this particular use case, it wasn't going to be a good fit. So the idea that I had for my job board was to do something similar to We Work Remotely, where there are two components to it. First of all, you can choose a category of listings, so like a basic one, a premium one, or a super premium one that have different pricings and give you a whole bunch of different benefits. For example, different durations of time that their project is listed on the job board, like highlighted listings, all those types of things. And I thought that that was a really good way to, give different types of businesses different options. And then another thing that I wanted to do was have add-ons. So an add-on that I wanted to add is to manually filter out the right types of freelancers for a particular client who has posted a job board. And so that is what We Work Remotely did. And I thought, you know what, this would be perfect for what I'm doing. So I went out and I researched a whole bunch of different tools that I could use to set this up. Now, I tried them. I tried a lot of them. Okay. And let me put it this way. If you are looking for the perfect form builder, you are not going to find it. Every form builder has its pros and cons. So what I had to find was the form builder that ticked most of my boxes, and that ended up being Jotform.
Okay.
So, should we go and have a look at what this job board looks like, the process of posting a
Yeah.
job looks like?
So let's go into post. So my understanding is that, the form, maybe I'm familiar with Airtable forms. So when you said like the forms don't have the capabilities, what you mean is that, some accept payment upfront, right? Some don't let you pre-fill some information. So what are those elements, I guess, before we jump into the form, that folks should be thinking about when it comes to payment when picking the right form provider?
Well, I think the most important thing to understand is your business model, or how you
Right.
want to charge for job postings. Now, if you want to keep things simple and just charge a one-off fee, then you can use something like Stripe checkout links. And so if I just had like a single price, like say $50 per job posting, and there was no add-ons, there were no differing plans, it was just a simple one-off plan, then what I'd probably end up using is Airtable forms plus a redirect to a Stripe checkout page or payment
Right.
link.
Right.
That you can get that set up a lot faster, but obviously the downside of that is that you might end up missing out on revenue, for starters, because maybe some smaller businesses consider it too expensive, or other businesses were willing to pay you more than you were actually charging. So having variable pricing makes a lot of sense, but yeah, it's just not possible to do with a tool like Airtable or even Webflow. I suppose you could set up workflows that sends an email with the payment link, depending
Right.
on how much they're willing to spend. But like honestly, I considered all of those options, and I just found with the overall user experience that I wanted to create, this was just the best option at
Got
the
it.
end of the day.
So walk us through the form itself. So right here, I clicked on, and then it seems like there's 3 steps. You post a job, it gets reviewed, and then it gets published. So first one is just contact information, right? So I've pre-filled it here. Just it's kind of, it's actually like a really nice form. I gotta say, I was filling this out, and it looks really good. It's very slick. So this is all JotForm native.
Correct.
It's an embed.
Yeah, so that was
essentially.
correct. So that was like a big factor. So it really, so this is just an embed, but yeah, you can. They give you quite a bit of freedom when it comes to styling your page. And I'm not a big designer, so like basically their default templates were really good, and then I just changed the brand colors a bit. And yeah, so the form really has 3 elements to it. First of all, the first step is you fill out your business information, what you've done now. Then
Right.
the next step is, so when you click on the next button, now you post your some information about your project. And this is what I use to categorize things inside of Airtable, so that I can then filter out the freelancers that will receive an email. So if, for example, someone selects the design project category, then I'm only going to contact our designers. And so, yeah.
So
This
quick question here. So what this does is that it submits to an Airtable base and has a multi-reference tab, maybe a multi-reference or a multi-select on project type, and then finds the freelancers who are in that project category and shoots them an email to say, hey, there's a new job. Is that right?
That is correct.
Got it. And you take payment before you send that email.
That is correct.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And
yeah, you go.
JotForm is what allows you to take that payment before form submission.
Yep. So JotForm allows you to take the payments, but there's actually another thing that they allow you to do, which for me just completely sealed the deal. And that is that you can actually manually trigger if the payment is made. So if a client posts a job and I know for sure that I won't be able to find them someone because what they're looking for is way too niche, then I can also opt to not take that payment. So when the job submission is made, you get an email from JotForm with a link where you can then trigger the payment. So that is a real good way to make sure that you're not accepting payments from people that you can't actually help. And so that was another thing that was phenomenal.
Got it. Okay, so when I submit this, it sends over that payment link and then fills out your Airtable base. So this is how you would recommend for your specific project to go ahead and get payment.
So I'll show you. So actually complete this part of the form, and then we're actually going to end up on the pricing page. Okay.
Got it.
So now all the information has been submitted, and now they can pick their pricing. So you can see there I have 3 different listing types. One is the legendary listing, which is the most expensive one. And then there's the epic listing and the free listing. And so you can go and pick one of those. And then below that, there's also an add-on section. And so in the add-on section, you can basically select the filter applicants add-on. And what that will do is I will then automatically filter out people for you. And you can see at the bottom that all of that is calculated, including the GST component, which is
cool.
Our tax. And then you can just add your credit card details. Payment agrees to the terms and services, and then just hit the send button.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I think this answers that question, right? So I think this is one way to implement the tax, the variable add-on, does the calculations all in one place. So I'm actually going to go ahead and drop this in the chat for folks. Go ahead and play around with it. Give Connor some money.
Definitely try the legendary listing. That one works the best.
That's the best way to discover how everything works. But honestly, if you're interested in how Connor set this up, check out his YouTube channel and honestly just tweet at him. Connor loves answering questions. I've heard that if you email Connor, he will answer you within the hour. He's just that type of dude. And he loves answering questions around very complex topics. So yeah, no, really appreciate that. Awesome. So that was our first question of the month. I'm actually going to go ahead and drop the link in the chat for future. So if you ever want to ask us a question for No Code Talk, go ahead and fill that out. We're going to take the questions, a week before, so it might take a little bit of time for us to answer. If we don't pick your question, I'll probably shoot a note with a quick answer. I promise I'll try our best to get to every question. But really loving our first example, and I'm happy that we could tie in your project. Okay, that was our first segment. Let us know what you think. Should we keep doing question of the month? I personally love answering your questions, and I know Connor does as well. So cool. Okay, next one is project of the month. Let me go ahead 1 second here. Boom. Gonna move. There you go. Project of the month. Okay. So in this segment, every month we want to highlight a project that is not a job board. I know it's a little ironic because we just showed off your job board, Connor, but I promise that this is not a job board. So what we want to do in this segment is highlight something cool from that someone built in the no-code community. And again, we'd love for you to submit your projects, right? Tweet at us, tweet at Connor if you want us to showcase your project. What we want to do is show the behind the scenes. So how is it set up? What are the automations that run from whatever tools you're using? Why did you build it? So that's our goal, is just to show that no code is not just for job boards. Really, you can build a lot of things with no code projects. But this month we thought we'd show off a little meta, Connor. We're going to show off how I automate all the things. So folks who are familiar with the stream have seen bits and pieces of this. I've been working on automate all the things. This is our 51st stream. So I've done this for a year plus, and this base has been what I've been working towards for over a year. So let me just show you the end product. And Connor, you're going to be the voice of folks in the chat, so let us know if you have any questions. So This website is my website built by FinSuite for the front end, and I control the whole back end. Has two large components. The first is my Essential Guide to Airtable, which is a free course that folks can take around, learning Airtable. And the payment, it's free, but I use a passwordless setup with MemberStack to get people signed up. And the reason I wanted to gate it in some way, just so I can get people's emails to know how the course is going, to tell them about the stream and other free resources. So I implemented MemberStack. So that's piece number one, which is the course content plus the sign up flow, which then needs to go into my email provider. And I have two of those because I like pain and I like making things complex. And the second part of this website is everything around the stream. So I stream every Wednesdays at 1 p.m. So I need a way to tell people that a stream is upcoming. And once it's happened, I need a way to host the stream so folks can come watch the replay on my website. So that has a schedule. So these are all of the upcoming streams. Little note fact thing. You can view it as a calendar view as well, right? Like that. I know. But no one, I think the analytics says no one goes to this one, which is kind of sad. And then once the stream is over, you should be up here as a stream.
Great.
So how do I set this up? Okay, so I kind of did a little Miro board of what happens. So the first, I have two Airtable bases. Again, because I'm terrible at organizing this stuff, I have two separate Airtable bases to manage all of this. The first is around how do I get the signups? So whenever someone signs up to the website, MemberStack sends me a webhook to my Airtable base to say, this user has just signed up to your course. And then I have a script that does two things. First, it does three things. First, it checks whether that user already exists in my database. Second, it sends them to MailerLite, which is like my transactional email in the back end that just fires off to say, hey, welcome to Automate All the Things. I hope you enjoy the course. And if they want to sign up to my newsletter, it goes to review. So I'm going to show you how that works in just a moment. And second is how do I manage the stream? So I schedule the stream in Airtable, and then there are three places, again, because I like pain, that the stream needs to go to. I have to send it to YouTube to create the URL. I have to send it to Webflow so that it shows up on my website. And then I need to send it to Google Calendar so folks can have it on their calendar, which is one option of subscribing. And I'm going to have a fourth one, which is emailing folks once a stream is near. And after the stream, I need to update the Webflow CMS so that the latest stream appears here and that it's no longer in my schedule. Questions, thoughts before I kind of show you the magic behind the scenes here, Connor?
I have a very specific question about the second part but I'll wait until we get to that. But are you at the moment only using Airtable automations to automate your workflows?
Yes. Everything here is a mix of incoming webhooks, scripts, and Airtable automations. I do not use any other third-party automation software.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's get. I don't use scripts that much or at all, so I'm very excited to see how this works.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. So first, let's talk about this. So I have here the Airtable base that I've anonymized to get new new course followers. Actually, I'm having some problem, Connor. I'm just going to turn off my headphones, so I might not hear you for a moment, but just going to charge them.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
There you go. Folks should still hear me, and I can. So what I do here is that MemberStack sends me a webhook whenever someone signs up, right? So let me go into what I do from that point is I run a script, as I said, that does three things. And I'm going to quickly go through this, and I'm happy to send to anyone who's kind of thinking of doing the same thing, this script. I'm sorry, it's like a little messy. So MemberStack sends me, let me kind of give you some space. Is this better? Can folks see like that? Okay. So this script, although it may seem complex, actually does very simple things. It gets the sign up, right? All the sign up details, checks whether they want to go into the newsletter, checks what their MemberStack ID is and what their email is. And then it checks whether it is an existing user or a new user. So is this someone who just wanted to sign up to the newsletter and has come through the workflow? Or are they like a new user that I need to create a new row for? So then it just says, if it's an existing user, update their information. So make sure that they have the right newsletter, the right member stack ID, the right email, all that stuff. And then it just does two things. It automatically sends their information to MailerLite. That's to my service backend. And then if they did say, yes, I want to be part of your newsletter, I do an API call to review that says, hey, this is a new subscriber to my mailing list. So, what I like about this is that there were a lot of things I needed to do in this script. I needed to check whether it's a duplicate. I needed to send them to third-party services. With a script, I can do all of that at once. And frankly, this may look complex, but it's actually just 2 API calls with a quick filter at the beginning to check whether it's an existing user. So it's actually quite simple. And yeah, go ahead, Connor.
So for starters, can you tell me how long ago you started learning writing scripts and where specifically you learned how to write scripts?
Yeah. So I actually learned there's a stream, Colleen, if you could drop, there's a how to learn Airtable scripts or learning Airtable scripting. I actually learned live on the stream with Airtable last year. And I think there's this assumption that I knew how to code before, but I didn't. And this uses everything I learned. So a filter, which checks whether there is an existing record with that same email, which was, of course, the first stream we did. And then 2 API calls, which is the 4th stream that we did. So I think folks who watch those 4 streams should be able to write this exact script very easily. And again, I'm happy to open source this one for anyone who wants to kind of understand really what happens behind the scenes. And I'd also love folks to improve it because I think there's definitely some improvements that can be built in here.
Cool. Yeah,
okay.
It looks really interesting.
So that is for bucket 1. So when someone signs up, automatically sends them to my mail backend. Second, sends them to review if they've chosen to subscribe to the newsletter. So Colleen just dropped the link to learn Airtable scripting, 4-part series, and 4 hours. You should be pretty proficient in writing scripts. Okay, so that was the user management side. Let's talk about the stream management side, which is on the left side, and for some reason this is on the right side. But okay, so let's use no code talk as an example, right? So I'm in my Airtable base, and I have this stream and content table, which has all of the information around a stream. So it has the title, no code talk number 1. You can see automate your e-commerce store is number 2 for next week. I have a guest table that has all of the, Connor's information, Twitter handle, nice little image. You really do look better on that image than live, Connor. I don't know what happened on that one. Also, you're wearing a hat, which you're not right now. That's so rare.
Well, we finally got to get haircuts in Ontario, so I stopped wearing my cap for now. And then live stream number, just some stuff. And this is where the magic happens, right? So I'm mapping each one of these fields to a CMS ID, but there's a lot of things I need to create for every stream. The first is this thumbnail. So you notice this thumbnail has elements from the stream. It has the title, the guest, when it happens, and then the image, right? Mm-hmm. So what I do to create is actually I have a page designer that has all of those elements, right? So if you cycle through this, you see all of my thumbnails. So when I have a new show, I take a screenshot of this like that. Mm-hmm. And then I just upload it as a thumbnail. So if anything changes, let's say I go no talk number 10 and I made a mistake, you can see that my thumbnail updates and I just need to take another screenshot, right? So
I kind of add it into my screenshots here. And then I have this send to Webflow button, right? So remember that my send to Webflow is a script that sends all of this information to Webflow. So I'm not actually going to do it. I'm just going to show you guys the script. Again, very simple. It's going to look complex, but it just does 2 API calls. It checks whether this is an existing stream. And if it is a new stream, it just maps all the different fields that I need in my Webflow CMS. So it says take name for the YouTube title, show calendar invite for show cal, the publish date, the stream start time. All that information is in my Airtable base. So at the click of a button, I can go ahead and update my Webflow CMS. So from there, I send to YouTube. This is the manual step. So I actually have not found a way to automatically schedule my stream. If there are any people in the chat in general who want to build this, I would love a way to communicate from Airtable to YouTube. I know a lot of content creators use Airtable. And so I'm sure that they would love it as well. And then last one I want to show off is send to calendar, which is if you go to, I have a calendar that you can subscribe to, which is no code, like my stream, right? So it has on my calendar every single stream that I have. And this is just an Airtable automation. So I have an automation that says when a record matches conditions. So when I check off this box, go ahead and create this event on the public Google Calendar that has all the stream information. So it grabs the title, it grabs the link, the little description, and all of that information is updated to the calendar, which is the best way to kind of subscribe to this stream. Yes, Veronica, proud calendar subscriber, appreciate it. Love to hear it. So there's a lot of questions, Connor. Do you have any questions? And there's some in the chat that I want to get to.
Yeah, so Veronica asked a good question, and that is how to save the image. So from what I understood, you screenshot it, correct?
That is correct. So there is no way today, that really sounded Canadian, to, let me open up that one more time. So let's open Page Designer. So if you open Page Designer, there's no way to, you can print, but there's no way to say, save this as a image in the record that generated this page. Mm-hmm. And so what I do is I use Cloud App. So you can see I have a shortcut to take a screenshot. Mm-hmm. And then I have Cloud App, which folks in the stream won't see, but it's in my Mac kind of sidebar here. And I can just go ahead and drag and drop it into the record. There are ways to automate this, but I found taking a screenshot is not so much. So it's not that much work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I use a tool called Placid App that does that, but that's a paid app. But yeah, it does the same thing as you. It just automatically imports it using the Placid App API. But I like your solution. That seems like a real good way to do it.
You can go ahead and steal it. It's yours. Anyone watching can steal it as well. Cool. There's a few more questions that one person asked, why not use something like Zapier? And I think that's a really fair question. This is much easier to use Zapier than to use Airtable automations plus a script. Frankly, I like having all of my automations run natively within my Airtable base because I stream a lot. This is going to sound really stupid. I stream a lot. So I sometimes configure something on the stream that I'm then worried that will trigger an automation that I don't know about. So having one place where I see all of my automations, knowing what triggers what is really valuable to me. And writing a script wasn't that much work once you get the hang of it. So that felt more natural. Now, had I done this maybe 6-7 months ago or a year ago and I didn't know how to write scripts, I would have probably used something like Zapier to get this done. So really, it is up to you what you're comfortable using and not necessarily there's no good right answer here. Cool. One more question from Veronica, which is what happens if you reschedule or a detail changes, right? Yeah, it's a great question. I don't automate that. I just go here, I delete it, I change the information, and I send it back, right? So I rerun the automation. This might be an issue if you have multiple, changes that need to happen. So there is no way to say update calendar. I think, let me check if there's an update Google Calendar. There is update event, right? So you are able, if you're making changes, to update an event. I think you'll be able, to find that Google Calendar, you'll need an ID or to match the name of the event. So that's definitely possible. So Veronica, I'll let you, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Can folks see? Yeah, you can see it, right? So update event is a possibility. So you don't need to delete and recreate like I do. Cool. Okay.
Nice. One quick question I do have is, do you ever send the actual video to Webflow after it's been published?
No. So it's always the link, the YouTube link that I embed. And then I have to manually go and just update one thing. It doesn't render automatically. But my script, so the one thing I do update is show in calendar. So show in calendar means that if it's checked, don't show it in the calendar, like AATT.io/calendar. If it is unchecked, just highlight in the stream page, the home page. So my script accounts for that. So my script updates the information when I run it to check any updates to the CMS item. Right? So I don't send the actual recording, but I do update the information to be able to place it in a different place in my website. Cool?
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah, so there's a question. So event ID. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Cool. Okie dokes. All right, we're on to tools of the trade, which is our last segment here. I think, Connor, you've got something you want to show off. So talk to us a little bit about what the tool... maybe, Connor, tell us about what tool of the month, tools of the trade is. And then we're going to jump into the actual tool of the month, tools of the trade of the month.
Cool. So the tool that I chose for tool of the month is the Flowbase Components Club. Now, this is going to be very relevant to anyone who uses Webflow, and specifically people that like to use templates or components a lot. Now, what the Flowbase team have done with Component Club is absolutely mind-blowing. When they got in touch with me and told me about what they were up to, I thought I misunderstood what exactly it does until I gave it a try. And basically what this tool is going to allow you to do is to copy and paste over components from their website without you having to download the actual project into Webflow first. So maybe let's just do a demo so that you can see what exactly I mean by it, because it's honestly amazing.
Yeah. And especially as we're both terrible designers, this is a revelation. So where do you want me to go to the...
Yep.
Okay. So where are we now? We're in navigation. It looks like a navigation bar. What can I do with this?
So just for a little bit of context, what Flowbase does is they build a whole bunch of components for Webflow sites. So if you click on the Explore tab, you can have an overview of all of the different select premium components. You can kind of see all the kind of stuff that they've built. So you've got things like testimonial sliders, you've got multi-step forms, a whole bunch of like really awesome things that you can use in your Webflow projects. And in the past, the way it would work is you would, someone in the Flowbase team would send it to you as a project to your Webflow account. And then you would jump into that project and copy and paste it over into whatever project you wanted. What you can do now is you can browse through this directory and select a component that you want. So let's pick that testimonial component on the right side there. And now what you can do is you can just click on the copy component tab button on the right side. Now,
Wait, Connor, are you telling
yes,
me that I'm just going to click this button and then I'm going to have this component, this piece in my Webflow website?
correct. That is what I'm telling you. So jump into your Webflow project.
Okay, I'm
And
here.
okay, we've got a new project. And now just hit the paste button.
Okay. No.
And just like that, wait, is that what it's supposed to look like though?
No, but I think it's just because I don't have it set up, right? So I don't have it properly set up. Right?
So that's an interesting one. Usually, so this has worked for me perfectly. Where
So
it's
let's just do another one. Let's do another one.
It's always these live demos, eh?
But this is where you see what happens, you know? It's good. Let me go grab this navigation one that I had open. It's okay. Copy component, right? Let me go into Webflow. And it's maybe because I don't have any, I just have a body. Right? There you go.
No, there you go.
Boom.
And so basically, this has taken out the entire step of having to download a project, which if you are not on one of the higher paid Webflow plans is going to be an issue anyway, because you can only have so many projects in your account at any given time. But now you can just go and pick and choose whatever elements you want, copy and paste it straight from the website into here. Now, another cool thing about it is that if you are copying it into an existing project, it will take the existing like font settings, like the global font settings that you have, and automatically apply it to that project, meaning that your styles will kind of be pretty much how you've already got it set up. So you won't have to go in there and change the font of every single component. And so, yeah, I think this is going to be very, 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 very useful for a lot of people. Especially people like myself who are not huge designers. Also, Flowbase builds some really, really awesome things, like their multi-step form has a lot of custom code in it.
Right.
And you don't oftentimes see templates with custom code in Webflow, because I'm not exactly sure why. I assume it can cause some like support issues, but yeah, they have some pretty advanced like components that you can just copy and paste into your project. And yeah, obviously just looking at how they design it, their designs are super slick, and it's just a fantastic starting point because you can essentially assemble an entire website just using their component library.
Yeah. Honestly, I remember building the first version of Automate All Things through a template, which had the challenge of having like a bunch of things I don't need. Right. So how templates are created is that they'll just assume you need an about me page, a products page, and so they categorize into like groupings of types of pages. So you have an agency template, you have a whatever template, right? No one had a like, do you want to start streaming template? Here's the perfect, right? Here's like the perfect template for that. So you end up with a bunch of stuff you don't need. And, you know, as someone as well, like you, Connor, as a terrible designer, the ability to just copy the component that I need, style it in the way that I need, and just have to copy paste it is, you know, a game changer. So yeah, I'd love to know in the chat, give it a try. You know, we'd love to know how you're going to use it. So I just dropped the link. I think, Connor, you also have a discount. So I think for folks who are joining, we also have a discount for y'all. So what is the discount? What's the code?
$15. And so you'll get 15% off the lifetime of the tool. So I think they charge $39 a month for it. And so yeah, 15% discount.
Cool.
On it, and yeah, I mean, amazing. It's pretty much the price of, you know, a template, I suppose, or maybe 2 templates. So, you know, if you just want to spin up a website real quickly, this is probably the way to go.
Amazing. Okay, so give it a try, folks. That's their tool of the month or tools of the trade. And also that completes our first no-code talk. That's everything we wanted to cover. Great job, Connor. We only heard your chair a few times. It was very impressive.
I haven't moved for the last hour.
But you've done a great job. Really appreciate it. So thanks for coming. We're going to do this next month. Again, we're going to have no code talk. So until then, ask us your questions, pitch us your projects that you want to show off on the stream. If you're building a tool or encounter a tool that you think is cool, tweet at us, let us know, and we'd love to highlight it next month. Let us know how No Code Talk went. You can tweet at us. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to like and subscribe Connor's channel. I'm sure he's going to do about 10 demos before 10 videos before the next time we have No Code Talk again. So do make sure to join. Any parting words here, Connor, before we head off for today?
No, this was a lot of fun. I definitely want to have a chat to you at some point about your decision to choose Airtable scripts and Airtable automations over Zapier. So maybe that's something we can talk about next time.
Yeah, definitely. I have a lot of thoughts around when to use what third-party automation tool. Awesome. Okay, so I'll see you all next month. Really appreciate you all joining. Have a great rest of week. And back to whatever no-code work you were doing before. So really appreciate y'all. Have a great day. Bye, Connor. Thanks for joining. And I will see you all next week, or Connor, I'll see you next month. Bye, y'all.
Sounds good. Bye.